I am Irv Gotti, and you're in my offices, in Murder Inc. offices, and you're about to hear me run my mouth for Artist House, artisthouse.com. Murder Inc. is my record label, and it is a very talented record label, and it was formed and conceived and thought of, I believe, 1999. That's when I had got my deal. And a lot of people have this thought on why I named my company Murder Inc. And I will now explain it to you here on artisthouse.com exactly. Some people may have heard it before. You may hear it now for the first time. But I was watching, well, first of all, I had success with Jay-Z and DMX. And I didn't sign Jay-Z, but I was a big part of Rockefeller Records when they started. Then I became an A&R director with Def Jam. I signed DMX and Ja Rule. You know, DMX went on to sell 5 million albums with his first album, and then another 4 million albums with his second album. We put out both his albums in the same year, which was groundbreaking. And then I helped Jay-Z with Hard Knock Life album. I produced the Can I Get a Record? And he so went on to sell like 6 million albums. And then Def Jam decided to give me a label deal. So I had to think of a name for my label. And one day I was watching Arts and Entertainment, and they had this special on called, it was Gangsta Week. And with Gangsta Week, they was profiling different gangsters, from Al Capone to Lucky Luciano to John Gotti. So one day on Gangsta Week, while I was watching, they profiled Murder Incorporated. Murder Incorporated was a group of contract killers, I think started by Albert Anastasia. And it was a group of contract killers who put out hits for the mob. And when I seen it and was looking at it, Murder Inc. came across the screen and they got riddled with bullets. And they was like, they was the hitmen. And in the record business, we all thrive to put out hits. So I thought it was a good, like, play on words and a good thing. Like, Murder Inc. put out hits. I'm gonna name my company Murder Inc. and I'm gonna put out hits. So that's exactly how the name got conceived, Murder Inc. Records, because I thought it was a cool thing to borrow from what they was doing back there. They was contract hitmen, that I'm a contracted hitman, you know, and I put out hits, meaning records, hits, not killing anybody. You know, little did I know I was gonna have to go into court because I made up this name or whatever. But I think I still would have named it because I really love the name. It sticks in people's heads, whether it's good or bad. That was another reason why I wanted to keep it, because, you know, the name kind of stuck in people's heads. After you heard it one time, you kind of remembered it, and I kind of liked that. And even if it jarred, or why would you do that? And it's so violent or whatever, I didn't care at that point. I was just like, you're gonna remember it, and that's the only thing that matters to me. So that's how Murder Inc. was conceived, and I founded it all on my own in like 1999. With songs, I always look for something, the sing-along factor. I'm a big shower singer. Most people are shower singers. When they hear a song and they like it, when they're in the shower, they usually sing the song. So, you know, I pride myself on making music that everyone could relate to, and it is kind of easy, that even a child could understand it, and it's catchy. Mm-hmm. And it makes you want to sing along with it, and I think those make for very big records. So it's definitely something that when I go into any idea of making music, marketing, anything, I want the consumer to be able to see it, identify with it, and got it very quickly. You know, most of the times it also goes into music, a music business philosophy when you're making a record. If I play a record for you, I really honestly believe I got to sell you in that first 15 to 30 seconds, that you need to get it and like it. And then after you like it in that 15 to 30 seconds, then you're going to listen more, and then you'll catch what I'm trying to say. But I really got 15 to 30 seconds to sell you. When it comes on, it better be hot. And if it ain't hot, I'm going to lose you. you know. So it's definitely part of what I do and what a concept and a philosophy of my thinking. Well, here at Murder Inc., Irv Gotti, I do everything from the rooter to the tutor. I clean up, and I'm the chairman and CEO. I'm the janitor to the president and CEO and founder. But I do actually do everything. I go in the studio, I make the record, I work with the artists, I produce the record. After I produce the record and I have the hit record, I work the record at radio. I will go up to radio, I will fly to radio stations, and I will talk to program directors, DJs, music directors, air personalities all across the planet Earth. Not even just here in the States. I've done that in London, I've done that in Japan, I've done that in Germany, in France, you know. And after the record gets played, when it's time to make the video, I direct the video. I shoot the video and direct the video. When it's time to do the album packaging, I get with a photographer and tell them the vision that I want. I help coordinate the styling of the artist. If I see something and say, yo, you should wear this, or you should rock this, you should look like this, or we should do this, or present it like this, I do that. I then, after the video is shot, I work it at BET and MTV. I call the program directors over there to get the video played, to see how they like it, you know, give them my vision on what I want. After the video is played, if they're on award shows, I coordinate the performance for the award shows and everything like that. When the record is time to get sold, I go to Walmart and meet with the gangsters over there at Walmart that make you fly to like Arkansas or Fayetteville or some little small town that you have to catch a small plane to get to. And I go sit with them to sell my record. I sit with Circuit City, I sit with Sam Goody, I sit with all of the chain stores that sell our music. I go on the internet and I deal with iTunes and I deal with AOL and I deal with Google and I deal with Yahoo to try and help them and see how they can sell my records. Yeah, it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch. And what I mean by that is, yes, I do everything, but I also hire a company. In my company, I hire a marketing guy. I hire a radio guy. I hire a street mix show guy. I hire an A&R guy. I hire someone who does new media and works with the internet. And what I do basically is like I let them soften it up, then I come in and try and close the deal. But then I also am a joint venture partner, and I have a partner with Universal now who has to work my records. Mm-hmm. So let's say radio, for instance. Tarek Williams is, and Dex Diamond is my radio guys. Dex does Street Team and Mix Show, and Tarek does, he's my national guy who talks to the program directors and music directors. So Dex will start out by giving the record to the DJ. After he gives the record to the DJ, some DJs will immediately play the record. Some DJs, like, we're gonna have to work. So if he says, Irv, this one is being a fucking hard ass, or this one is a guy who you're gonna have to call, I gotta call that guy, and I'll call him and say, hey, you like the record? You don't like the record? You know, and I always have I have a very good way of absorbing whatever they say to me and then firing back at them. Mm-hmm. In other words, if a DJ says, you know, I don't like the record, I go, well, you know, I hear you and I feel what you're saying, but I think it's a great record and I'm hoping that you could just give it a shot. So maybe you're wrong and the people may love this record. So will you be cool enough that even if you're wrong and say you start playing the record, it's a big record, you'll play the record. So when you come at them with logic like that and you're not really an idiot about it, sometimes you get good results. Sometimes you get, nah, I can't play the record. And then you got to say, all right, even when they say that, I have another line. All right, it's cool if you don't play the record. But now if I make this record a big record all around you, and it's a huge record, will you play the record then? If I show you that it's a great record, will you? And if I do that 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, I'm going to have to play it if you make it a hit. Cool, I'll call you later, right? So, but that's how it works on that level from radio. And it's like on Tarek's level, it's the same thing with the program directors and the music directors. But then even after they shut me down, I have Universal backing me out. So Tariq is first punch. I'm really the second punch. The Universal is the third punch, and say the senior VP of radio is the fourth punch. So that's why I always say joint ventures, when they function like me, is the best labels in the world to be on. Because you have literally 2 staffs working your record. So it increases the chances of you winning. The business is based on relationships, like a large part of it. But more so than that, the business is based on hits. Like, I'm a music purist. I guess I'm an old school guy that comes from, hit record. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it's just hugely based on relationships. And if you have great relationships with DJs and programmers and people out there to get things done, that's very important. But I like to say what's more important is when I go and make that undeniable hit. When I drop I'm Real or Always on Time or Foolish or Ain't It Funny or all of these #1 records that I've had, or What's Love, and it's like when I drop these records, they're undeniable hits. I don't even need a relationship. I have them, but I don't need them. People hear the record and they want to play it. That's what you want to achieve in the music business. You don't want to have to base what you're doing on a relationship and getting somebody to help you out. What you want is to deliver a material that you don't have to say one word, that they hear it and they like, yo, that is a great record, and they play it. That's what I try and do every time. Now, most of the times, or some of the times, I have to work it, which is fine also. Whichever way it's going to be, is it's going to be, and I work it. They just come to you, and then after they come to you, it's my God-given talent to see something different in them, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talk about that, I got to go into a conversation about God. You know what I'm saying? And this is what God has given me. When I first met Ja, he was in the group Cash Money Click. And it was when I met him and he rhymed, I thought he was different. I immediately said he's the one. Out of the group, I immediately gravitated to him and thought he was special. Jay-Z, when I first met Jay-Z, it was in 1987, we went to London. And he was just different. I was with him in jazz, and I was cool with both of them, but I felt Jay-Z was the one. When I met DMX, God was fucking different. I can't, like, if you want me to give you this and this reason, it's just something happens and I hear it, and then I'm like, yo, they're different, and I'm gonna run with them. Ashanti, when she first came to me, it was different because I actually told her, I said, I ain't doing R&B. I said, I'm hip hop, but I said, come to the studio and stick around and be a studio rat, and you know what I'm saying, we'll get it done and see if we could do something. But off first meeting her and hearing her music, I was like, it wasn't impressive, like her first music, because it was different than what the people know now. You know what I'm saying? So she just stuck in the studio, and she was a studio rat, and she just stayed in the studio while we was making Ja's Pain's Love album. And I just seen a hunger in her, because she would come to the studio most every day, even if she wasn't doing anything. She was just chilling. So then I started talking to her, and I started saying, hey, try this, write a hook for this, because I was testing her. And it's like, I would tell her what to write, the concept, and tell her, yo, do it like this and do it like that. And every time she did it, it would be amazing. So then when she did that, that's when I was like, yo, she's talented. With Ja, X, and Jay, it was immediate. With Ashanti, it was like, it took a minute. But then I was like, okay, and then I seen she had it. Vanessa Carlton, who I signed, was instantaneous. I went to Doug Morris's office, and she was in there because she was having a meeting with Doug. They pulled me in the meeting just because they wanted me to just sit in on the meeting. And she got on the piano and she played this record, Hands on Me, and she totally blew me away. Like, to the point where I was jumping around like, yo, you're the shit, oh my God, your voice, and she just totally blew me away. It was instantaneous. So, it's hard to say with me. It's like God, it's God. It's like God gives me the chills and says, this is the one. If you're coming in the music business and say you get next to a guy like Leo or like Def Jam or whatever like that, and say the deal, he's jerking you pretty bad. So when he reads your book, he's like, hey, I'm supposed to get this, and this. I said, but sometimes you could just throw the rules out. And if your gut says, hey, I could blow up with this guy, go ahead and sign the deal. Now, here's part 2 to that chapter. After you blow up, take the contract, go to the Leo's office, get a match, and burn it. After you sell 5 albums, say, hey, Leo, watch this. This is our contract. Shh, new deal. My philosophy is if you have a gut reaction and you have a gut thing like this is the right label I'm supposed to be with, fuck it. Against all odds, take the deal.
That's right.
Take the deal, and then after you take the deal, know you have to sell records or you're going to get fucking jerked. But you know what? We all get jerked. Even when it's a great deal in the beginning. If you sell records, you're going to renegotiate that great deal. So who cares? Just get in with the right people that you think is going to blow you up and is going to be the thing. Forget that deal. And then once you get in and have the signed contract, work your ass off. Then after you work your ass off and you get up and you're this big success, walk into the thing after you sold your millions of copies and say, hey, you guys know you're going to have to give me a new deal here, right? Guess what? They're all going to say, yeah, we know. And they're going to sit on at the table and you negotiate a new deal. Because they want another record and they know they jerked you. They know they jerked you. So the new deal, they're going to still jerk you. How about this? They're going to still jerk you, but you'll make a lot more money. Then if you sell some more records again, guess what? New deal again. We're going to keep tweaking this up till it's right. Rick Ross is a rapper. You know who he is? He had a big record. Every day I'm hustling. Every day. He's from Miami. Every label was caught in this guy, right? It got down to either he was going to sign with me or Def Jam, right? And I told Rick Ross, and I said, with all due respect, I said, Jay-Z is the best artist of our generation. He is the best rapper. He's extremely charismatic and everything. But I said, Joe, if you want to sell records, your best shot is with me, because that's what I do. I plot, I strategize to make Rick Ross sell millions of units. And I said, I just don't know if Jay has what I have. And I said, now after you sign with Jay, the label's going to work your music. Jay ain't working. He's the president. He ain't working. I said, with me, I'm the president, right? I said, if you sign with me, I'm going to work your records, rooter to the tutor. And I said, herein lies the difference, because I'm going to micromanage you to the tune of 2 to 4 million albums sold. I said, now you could do that with Jay, but I said, me personally, I think your better chances is with me. I said, I'm a guy who helped Jay sell 5 million albums. This is what I do. Now, they had more money, they was giving more things, he went with them. He's gonna probably get a gold, maybe sell 700,000 albums, successful. But I promise you, if he'd have went and came with me, he would be selling 2 million albums in this messed up time or whatever. Because I believed in him, he had that gift, and I wanted him that bad. Now, what do? Do you take the fool's gold? Watch this. Here, these guys are gonna give you $1 million. I'm gonna give you 200,000. You're gonna run and take that million, right? Maybe the last million you ever get. But with me, with this 200,000, you sell a couple million albums, you may make $100 million in the course of your career. This is what I was saying. And it wasn't that much of a difference, but I'm saying even like artists should come to me for less. You know, Leo used to say that, and I agree with him, but to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? But artists should definitely come to me for less, because with me, the potential of you having a long-lasting, successful career is higher than with anyone else, I feel. There's a lot of things with the mixtape circuit that, you know, a guy will put out a mixtape, it'll land in my hands, I would listen to it and be like, yo, it's hot. A lot of times the things come to me, though, is from a guy who works for me, or a dude who knows me. Yo, I met this dude, or whatever. Yo, you should meet him, whatever like this. And that's exactly how it happens most of the time. Sometimes I'll listen to it and I hear something. That's how it happened with Rick Ross. With Rick Ross, he put the record out on his own. And I was in Opium, a club in Miami, and the first song on the record came on in the club, and it blew me away. I was in the club, everyone was talking, I'm sitting there listening to it. I'm like, yo, who's this? Who's this? They said, Joe, it's Rick Ross. He put the record out. I said, where's he at? They said, Joe, he's in the club. He's right over there. I said, Joe, get him right now. And I had him. I said, Joe, I want to sign you. Because the record, I heard charisma, I heard thing, and then when I seen him, I said, oh, he could sell a part. I said, he looks like what he's talking about. And I was listening to the record, and I was just blown away. I was like, I want him now. Now, let's do it. And he blew me away. But I heard it right in the club. And if you want to be successful, I would tell everybody to try and choose what they want to do in life early. In other words, if you want to be me, ladies and gentlemen, and you're 15 years old or 14 years old, here's my advice. My advice to you is to go to school and, one, be smart. And I'm not saying go to school because you need school. I'm saying go to school for brain exercise so you're not dumb. Not necessarily that you have to be a rocket scientist smart, but I just think school is good brain exercise. It just exercises your brain. It's like jogging when you need to be healthy. So, you know, go to school to be smart, right? Then after school, go intern for somebody. If you get out of school at 3 o'clock, go intern from 4 to 7 for a record label. And don't take no money, just go up there every day from 4 to 7. And the beauty of it is, if you're an intern, they're not gonna pay you no money, they're not gonna give you anything, so you know what, you'll easily be able to get access to, and they're gonna want you up there to do little odds and ends. So while you're up there, you're gonna learn a lot of stuff of what's going on just by being around it. And then after you learn all of that stuff, incorporate it into what you wanna do, because you're smart, because you're going to school and your brain exercising, and figure it out. Now, you do that for a few years, but most likely if you intern for a company for say 3 to 6 months, they're gonna hire you. They're gonna give you a job and give you a small check, so now you're getting a small check, right? But if you think about it, if you start at 14, 15 years old, by the time you're 18, you might be a monster. You may know the whole game, the whole kit and caboodle. At 18, 19 years old, you know the business. In life, just figure out what you want to do and try and figure out what you want to do early. You understand? If you figure out what you want to do early, you have the jump on everybody. So if you want to be a musician, grab an instrument, pick it up, start learning it, play it, master it. Hopefully you figured out you want to be play an instrument at an early age, 12, 13. By the time you're 18, you could do anything you want on that guitar. You could do anything you want on that piano. Figure out what you want to do early. I tell my kids, I tell my 2 boys and my daughter, I always tell them, I'm like, conquer your fears. And I say, the success in life, I said, first and foremost, is conquer your fears and don't be afraid of anything. Because I said, most of the time, people in this world, they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of this. I'm afraid of my test. Oh my God, I take a test today. I'm scared, or whatever like that. Most people live with fears every day. So I learned early on, and I didn't even know it. It was kind of ignorant. It was just the makeup of me. I don't really fear anything in this world. And maybe it's my belief with God, or whatever like that, but I don't fear nothing in this world, let alone making a record or making a video. You understand? And I also have a deep belief in my talent of music, because I really, really, really love music. that I really believe in myself, and really I have a confidence that you wouldn't believe, that I think that I know exactly what I'm doing. And I think I know what people want to see, and I think I know what people want, how they want to be entertained. So with that said, I'm running. Fear isn't even, it's not even kind of in my vocabulary. Especially after, I'm even more fearless now after everything that I've been through. It's like after coming from what I've come from and pulling through that, everything else is like nothing compared to the obstacle that I just overcame. Until I'm making a record. Great, we're gonna make some records. I love making records. There's nothing to be fearful about it.